There you go. This time, I'd like to call the South Union Township February monthly meeting to order. Roll call, Mr. Schiffbauer.
Here.
Mr. Scott.
Here.
And Mr. Vernon here. Well, we'll stand for silent prayer, and we'll do the pledge of allegiance. We'll do the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Between number 17 and 18, we're going to add an extra item on the agenda we left out our engineer. So that'll be between 17 and 18. We'll call Mr. Over from K2 Engineering. Okay, the next item on the agenda will be number 5, Roadmaster's Report. I handled that. For the month of February of this year, we went out 4 snow days in the month of February. Very lucky this year. We also picked up litter on Township Drive, Cinder Road, Brownfield Lane, and Walnut Hill Road. We hauled compost to our regular site over by 84 Lumber 10 days out of the month. Worked on a sheepskin ground with Mr. Shipper 11 days. We replaced stop signs in Leith, Caroselli Drive, and New Salem Road, Cinder Road. We also put new street signs up at Nicholas Drive and Jenny Lane. And we replaced a pole and street sign on Balsinger Road. Had an accident there. It took the pole in the sign. The sign was gone. We installed new stop signs behind the Pizza Hut on Route 21. PennDOT forgot to put the sign back up, so we took care of that. And we fixed the mailboxes. Our last snow, it was very wet snow, and a few of our mailboxes, when we hit the snow with our plow, flew off to the side, and we had to fix a few mailboxes on Saratoga Drive, Heritage Hills Road, Gentile Drive, and 3 Virginia Avenue. We also washed the trucks 3 days. And we also hauled a large tree branch away from an alley behind Albion Street. That's off of Continental 1. And we cold patched the following places. Albion Street, St. James Drive, Dawson Avenue, Hutchinson Gun Club Road, Coddington Place, O'Connell Avenue, and Saratoga Drive. That will be my report for the month of February. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Scott?
No, sir.
Mr. Shipper?
No, I don't.
Okay. Let's go to item number 6, the code enforcement report. I'll handle that one also. For the month of February, again, we have 2 officers working, 1 full-time, 1 part-time working the day shift, and we have 3 that works in the evenings and on weekends. They travel throughout the township. Our day shift 1,280 miles, and our evenings and weekends 1,419 miles, for a total of 2,699 miles traveled throughout the township. Letters given out for property repairs for the month of February was 9. Junk vehicles was 1. 1 dog complaint, 1 burning complaint. Again, we burned on Saturdays from 8 to 5. High grass and weeds, we had none this month. We did make 1 property unsafe. We had no quad complaints for a change, and no delinquent garbage accounts. We had a total of 19 citations issued by our zoning officer, and we had total of letters sent out was 32. Also, we had a fire lane of 8 tickets given out and 1 for the handicap. That concludes my code enforcement report. Mr. Shepard, anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing further.
Mr. Scott.
Just once again about the compost, is only for branches, leaves, and grass. We're starting to get some heavy debris in there again, some logs after we leave at night. So we try to leave it open for everybody, but if it continues, we're probably going to have to lock it up when we leave at 3:30, because we can't continue to go through the pile and see what's in there. The last time something slipped through, almost caused a couple $1,000s to our grinder. So just keep in mind, it's only for leaves, branches, and grass. That's it, Mr. Garner.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Go on to item number 7, motions to approve minutes from the previous meeting. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Scott.
I'll second the motion.
Second by Mr. Shepard. questions on the motion? Mr. Scott?
Yes.
And Mr. Schiffbar?
Yes.
Mr. Vernon, yes. Motion carries. Comments on the agenda items. Anybody have a comment on the agenda items that's listed on our agenda? Okay. We'll go over to number 9, Sewage Department report. Mr. Scott handles that for us.
We had 63 one calls in the month of February, 11 service calls. We did have a backup on Route 21. There was some debris left in the manhole. We're still investigating to see what caused that backup, but it is clear now. It was taken care of the same day. We've completed our field search with the tax map numbers compared to our sewage bills over at the sewage department, so that is complete. We did 2 tap inspections. We had no issues at any of our pump stations. We also had a backup on Valley View that was looked at, and that's the area we smoke tested last month. We did fix 3 different things we found with the smoke testing, so we think that that took care of that problem also. I also have a, last year we extended the sewer line from Fairfield Inn up to the Kingdom Hall on Route 21 for the new Dollar General. Mr. Gurman, who owns the building, decided to do the sewage line himself, and it is complete. It's been inspected by our engineer, Mr. Over. Do you have anything on it, Mr. Over?
No, like you said, Mr. Scott, the line was extended. It was completely inspected during construction by our office, and at this time, I know the developer is looking for the township sewage office to take over the system and maintain the system from here on out. So I think they're looking for a resolution and an adoption of the installed system into the township's sewer line.
Do you have anything to add, Mr. Davis, on the resolution?
No, the only thing, as we spoke briefly about it, I realize you just got the paperwork just this afternoon. My suggestion would be if the board is inclined to accept the line, that we adopt a resolution, which we can adopt it orally now. I can prepare a written resolution with the line drawings attached, so everyone sees exactly what we are accepting, and then it can be signed in the next several days.
And like Mr. Over said, everything is in order.
Yes.
There are other taps that can be accessed by this line, so I think that's the rush to get the other taps in. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion
to adopt a resolution to accept that portion of the sewage line set forth in the drawings, which will be attached to the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Scott. Do we have a second?
I'll second Mr. Scott's motion.
Second by Mr. Schiffbar. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Schiffbar.
Yes.
And Mr. Vernon, yes.
And I'll prepare the written resolution for the signatures of the supervisors based upon the adoption that just took place.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That completes my report.
Thank you.
Oh, I did have one other thing. The yearly discount program was due by March 3rd, which is Friday. We're going to extend that 1 month. So we're going to go with, I believe the date is April 3rd, whenever your bills are due. We already had 1,023 customers that did the yearly discount. You get a one month discount if you pay in full for the year. We're going to extend that to just try to give people more time. And I did put some stuff on Facebook about it to show that, the savings. And so we will extend that. If you have any questions, you can call down to the sewage office at 724-438-8333. That concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. We're going to item number 10, the Sheepskin Trail Progress Report. Mr. Schiffbar is handling that.
Thank you, Mr. Vernon. As most of you know, that we have started on the construction of the Sheepskin Trail in South Union Township, which runs from Bark Mill Road down along the old Penn Central Railroad out to the Hutchison Community Park. It's a 2.2 stretch. Fortunately, because of the break in the weather here recently, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've made some tremendous strides in working on the trail. We concentrated on some of the tougher areas that faces us in our construction schedule, and they've been pretty much taken care of. So I'd say we're probably somewhere in the vicinity of almost 40% of the actual trail being constructed. Unless we have some problems that we don't encounter that we're not aware of right now, we're certainly shooting for August of this coming summer for the trail to be completed. And that does include the actual surfacing of the trail with andesite. That will make the trail a lot easier to maintain, and I think it will encourage the usership of the trail when you have a surface that nice. And we're looking forward to it, and I think it'll be a very nice addition to our township. There are other townships in the planning stage and doing their section of the Sheepskin Trail. Point Marion is well advanced in their program and grant program. Hopefully they're going to get started here in the next few months, and talking to some of the other townships and boroughs. We had a recent meeting for the Sheepskin Trail, the Friends of Sheepskin Trail in Smithfield. It was very well attended. I'd say over 60 people, and prior to that we held the first meeting of Sheepskin Trail, Friends of Sheepskin Trail, about a month ago, and it was very well attended there. I think the interest is heightened to the point where hopefully the trail will be completed. It's not going to be done overnight, but as long as we move forward with positive progress, sometime here in the future, in the next few years, we will be able to complete that trail, and it will be a great addition to the county, not only from a health standpoint, but I think the one thing that a lot of people are not aware of, but will see as the trail is completed, is a positive economic development impact in the county. The Great Allegheny Passageway that runs through Connellsville, Confluence, and Iapel, if you are familiar or talk to the people up there, it's unbelievable the infusion of dollars that's been brought into the area because of the Great Allegheny Passageway, and that's where the Sheepskin Trail on the northern perimeter of the trail, it will be connecting there just above Dunbar Township. It's already connected, actually, and it runs from Connellsville down to Dunbar Borough. So we will keep you posted as we make progress here as the year progresses.
Thank you, Mr. Schiffber. Anything else, Mr. Scott, like to add? Okay, at this time, I'd like to adjourn this meeting to have this public hearing. Steve, is that need a motion to adjourn?
Well, no, I don't think we need it. We'll just take a motion to recess.
Okay, motion to recess?
Yes, just for the purpose of a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to recess. Have a second on that?
I'll second.
Mr. Scott, second. A roll call, Mr. Vernon, yes. Mr. Scott?
Yes.
And Mr. Schiffber?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, we're going to go into a public hearing. Reserve request of James E. Jones to change the zoning from B1 General Business to M1 Light Industrial on 2.82 acres along McClellan Town Road. Steve, would you handle the hearing for us?
Yes, I will. As Mr. Vernon mentioned, this is a request, a petition for rezoning in reference to tax map 34-05-0001, and it's been duly advertised. Rezoning is seeking from the present zoning district of B1 to an M1 light industrial. This is on behalf of Redstone Commercial Realty LLC, a Pennsylvania limited liability company. At this time, anyone wishing to offer testimony either in favor of or in opposition to the rezoning.
Would you first explain that we usually need 10 acres to rezone, but we're going with 2.82. There's a reason for that.
Well, and let me explain that. And I was going to bring that out at some point anyway, but I do appreciate your suggestion at this time. The reason is that this parcel extends from German Township into South Union Township, and so what they're seeking to do is rezone the entire tract, but only 2.82 acres are in South Union. So if we would rezone that, it would be done consistent with the other tract. In other words, if that tract would have to be rezoned M1 as well. So any action taken by our Board of Supervisors, it's my understanding, would be contingent upon the remaining portion of the tract that's in German Township first being rezoned to the M1 zoning district.
Thank you for
And again, let me repeat myself. Anyone wishing to offer any comments, testimony, either in favor of or in opposition to the rezoning, stand, raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn, have you come up, identify yourself, and offer your testimony. But, Jeff, you don't need to be sworn. This is the counsel for, your counsel for...
I'm counsel for Redstone Commercial Realty.
Well, come on up. Since you're an attorney, we'll let you proceed as counsel and offer comment.
Thank you. What's been stated is correct. We are seeking this to be rezoned from current B1 to M1 for light industrial use. The overall property does exceed the 10-acre requirement for classification as M1. It's a total of 10.92 acres. The 2.82 acres that sits in South Union Township, where the line goes through, there are no buildings on South Union's site, nor will there ever be any buildings built there due to setback and other requirements. The existing buildings that are there are contained within German Township. That's where the activity takes place. That is where the majority, that's where the buildings actually are, and that's where, when this property has been used, things have taken place on the roughly 8 acres that's in German Township. But because it does consist of 2 different townships, the property is all contiguous, so we are asking that it be rezoned. We understand that it does require the county's approval. Your hearing precedes the county's. Both planning commissions have been presented with this information. Both planning commissions have approved it, South Union's as well as the Fayette County Planning Commission. It goes before the county commissioners later this month in March. What we're asking is that South Union consider approving this conditionally upon the county approving it. So if the county were to say yes, we would already have South Union's approval, but we understand that it all has to be done. Both sides have to agree. So we're asking for that conditional approval. It's necessary to be changed to an M1 because of the interest that has been expressed in the property by a variety of potential tenants that have approached Redstone Commercial Realty. And I can say from past experience with this property, the prior tenant who was there, United Rentals, who moved out earlier this year, when they became a tenant of this property, they were very concerned with the way that this was zoned. The CFO of Redstone Commercial Realty is here. He was involved with that transaction as well, Mr. Babick. And when United Rentals wanted to go there, they were very concerned that this was zoned to B1. And they had problems because they did some light manufacturing in relation to their equipments, manufacturing pieces and parts. And the deal for them to come in almost fell through because it was not M1. It took a letter from the county saying that United Rentals would be permitted to do what they wanted to do there. But they were seeking an M1 at that time. So for the past 6 years, it's been an issue. Prior to that, it was a construction company. Former Solomon and Testovich was there. That's what this property is, followed by their successor company. But the current owners want to make sure that they have this approved. And the type of buildings that exist there are primed for a light industrial use that is being sought. I believe you have on the maps that have been presented the layout of the property, and myself and Mr. Babick are here to answer any questions you might have concerning that.
May I ask a question? Well, my only question is, at this point then, there's no plan to improve the 2.82 acres in South Union?
No.
You need those rezoned so you have your 10 plus acres?
Exactly.
Because our 2.82 acres, it's on a hillside, isn't it, mostly?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's not really built. I mean, it's possible. I think there were some trucks stored there at one time. There's nothing on it now. It's not buildable. So the existing buildings, as I said, are significantly far away from there. And if there were any improved buildings, there's talk, depending on various tenants' needs, to possibly construct a third building. There are 2 warehouses there now. If a third building was constructed, you can see on the plans, the proposal is, if that were even to be done, it would be on the German Township property.
Okay.
Any questions by any of the supervisors, or any other questions? Do you have anything else you wish to offer?
Nothing else that we wish to offer, just we would ask your consideration for this request, and again, we would ask that it be done, if the consensus is to approve it, that it be approved conditionally upon South Union, or upon the county approving it as well.
Are there any, I made this announcement earlier, I'll make it again. Does anyone want to offer any comment either in favor of or in opposition to this proposed rezoning? Hearing none, it would be up to the supervisors to act on this.
We have a motion either way to accept it or to move it to,
I'll make a motion that we give final conditional approval pending the outcome of the Fayette County Commissioners, their tract of land in German Township.
so we got a motion, we have a second.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Shipper. Any questions on the motion? Roll call. Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Shipper?
Yes.
Mr. Vernon, yes. Motion carries. That is pending the outcome that the county would approve it also. I think they're meeting on the 17th of February.
Yeah, and I think we need to get something, if you could get us something in writing, assuming that the county approves it, get us something in writing, and then you'll have our minutes. That's all you'll need. It will be done. We'll make the change on the zoning map, assuming the county rezones it.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Hopefully you
Council.
guys can create some good jobs here in Fayette County. Thank you.
Could we have a motion to come back into our regular meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Thanks, Mr. Scott. The second by
Second
Mr.
motion.
Shipper. Roll call, Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Shipper?
Yes.
And Mr. Vernon, yes. We're back into the regular meeting. We're going to go over to item number 12. Motion to award the bid for 14,000 gallon of gasoline and 9,000 gallon of diesel fuel. Last month we tabled it pending to look into it some more. Mr. Scott did do the work on this. You want to go a bit, Mr. Scott, with?
Yeah, we were just concerned that they were going to be able to fulfill our needs. I mean, they were significantly lower. Do you have that contract?
It's Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson Petroleum Products out of Smock was the low bidder. We just wanted to talk to them and make sure they were going to be able to deliver on the date and time that we were accustomed to having delivered. They did. And also, whenever you get fuel, we're tax exempt, so they have to actually pay the fuel. This is what we had problems for in the past. They actually have to pay the tax when they supply us with the fuel, and then they have to wait to get their money back from the state. So, you know, a lot of the companies didn't want to bid on it because they might have up to 2 months, I believe I was told, before they get their tax money back. So I just wanted to make sure that Wilson was aware of this, and they do, like, I believe he told me 12 other townships and municipalities. So we felt comfortable with it, and after talking with them, I would make a motion that we accept the bid from Wilson Petroleum Products, 407 Rouse Run Road, Smock, PA 15480, for the year of 2017.
Motion by Mr. Scott.
I'll second Mr. Scott's motion.
Second by Mr. Shipper. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Shipper.
Yes.
Mr. Vernon, yes. Motion carries. Let's go to the next item. Thank you, sir. Opening of bids for the sale of property located at 26 Foreman Avenue. That's a duplex. We did advertise it. Mr. Solicitor, if Dave's like to open the bid for, we only have one bid. That's all we received. It was properly, I think we.
It was advertised
At least
on.
2 times. I believe.
Actually, it was advertised
Three?
Tuesday, February 7th, Tuesday, February 14th,
And
Tuesday, February 21st, 3 times. And of course, this is the bid is with reserve, which means the township can accept.
Can I give a little quick history on
Sure.
this real quick?
Yes, of course.
About 2 years ago, I was approached by the lady that lives in the other half of this. It's a single-story duplex. It's an odd-looking situation. It was a single house that was added on to make a duplex. So the house was sold at I believe a free and clear sale at the county, and the guy from Mill Run bought it, and he didn't do anything with it. Wasn't doing anything with it. And it was literally falling down next to them. They were actually getting water in their basement because the other basement was full of water. So I went to the county and the school district, and first I went to the guy at Mill Run and I asked him if he would consider giving to the township to try to help this lady out. I went to the school district and I went to the county and I had the taxes forgiven on it. At that point, we had roughly $1,500 in this piece of property. We offered it to the neighbor for $1,500. She was going to take it. I don't know if the finances wouldn't allow it, or she was just afraid it was going to cost too much to fix it. But she decided she did not want it. So now the township is, stuck with this piece of property. And like I said, it's a unique situation. So whoever, and I made it clear that whoever bought it would have to bring it up to code within 90 days. So it's, and it's not really worth a lot, because if you did tear this down, I'm not sure you'd even be able to rebuild on it, because unless you buy the other side of the house. So it's a unique situation. It's something that, in hindsight, I probably wouldn't get involved in again if I had the choice. But I was, trying to. It's a health concern for the lady, and I was hoping that she would take it. And but she's telling me her finances won't allow it. So we did put it up for bid last month. We only received one bid, and it's in rough condition, I can tell you that.
Shall I open a bid?
Yes, sir.
We have the bid of Wendell Charles. It's in the amount of $500, and there's a certified check for $50 enclosed.
What was that total again? 500. 500.
I did inquire on pricing. I met one of Mr. Over's associates there, and we checked to have it torn down on the township's behalf, and it was upwards of $10,000 to have it tore down. So, it's just a bad situation.
Well, I hope that Mr. The bidder understands what he's getting with the
right.
500. It sounds like a heck of a bargain, but surely he's checked it out and inspected it.
Well, and he did call about it, and there was 2 other calls, and I told them all 3 the same thing. I told them they had 90 days to bring it up to code. So he's well aware of the situation, and I'll actually make a motion to accept the bid if that's all we need, Mr. Davis. Can we accept on one bid?
We can accept or reject. We could do whatever you want. Can we advertise it? We can accept it. We're not. The way we advertise it would give us that option.
Right. Well, the longer.
Or you can table it,
right.
And give it a couple of, and if you want to talk with him and make sure he fully understands what's expected of him.
If I may, just make
Yeah.
sure that you place within the sales agreement the language that you discussed, that he must
Right.
be compliant with the building code within 90 days.
Well, if we're going to do that, I'd table it so you can make sure you have a discussion with him, because then.
Yeah, that was just a verbal discussion. We should have something in writing.
Can we accept it with that stipulation? Because it's going to cost us again to advertise. It'll cost us that much to advertise it.
Right.
You can accept it with the stipulation that he agrees to bring it up to code within 90 days.
I mean, we can do that. We can put that
Yes.
stipulation in there. It's a motion.
Yes.
I think we can go advertise it.
I'll
again.
make that motion. I mean, it's just costing us money the longer.
Long
we
way
keep
someone
it.
could get hurt over there.
Right.
We have it posted, but someone could still get hurt over there.
Yeah.
And it becomes his headache.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Your motion still stands with that stipulation?
Yes.
So-
Yes.
I'll second Mr. Scott's motion on that stipulation of 90 days.
Yes. He has 90
If we-
days
if
to
we
bring it up to
accept it.
code.
So you're going to accept it with the understanding that the buyer agrees to bring the property up to code within 90 days after receipt of the deed.
Exactly.
Okay.
How much time we give him to accept or reject it, that offer? Is there a bit of word?
If he doesn't accept it, we reject it.
Right. Yeah.
Then we just re-advertise it then?
Just re-advertise it. I think a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's
I'm
fine.
sure
Okay.
you just sit down with him and he'll tell you.
Right.
Okay. Any other
Yeah.
questions on the motion?
We have someone in the audience.
Oh, someone have a question?
I have a question. If he doesn't bring it up to code,
He'll be cited. He'll be cited for violations of the code. If he owns it, then he'll be cited.
Okay. I just wonder, that's going to go on and on. You
No, he'll be cited if he doesn't, if it's not the code, he'll be cited daily. That's why we make sure we have to tell him that. He has 90 days to get up to code. And then Mr. Over will inspect it then for us.
So after a matter of time, I just wondered, if
Yeah,
you drag this on for 2 years.
If it's not up to code, then we will have to, our code officer cite it daily.
Our options are very limited,
Yeah.
and this is just one.
It's a unique situation, like I
And
said.
we're trying to help out, and we got, maybe happens once in a while.
Right.
Another question on the motion, and roll call. Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Vernon, yes. Mr. Schiffmeyer?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, thank you. Let's go on to the next item on the agenda. Establish procedure to have an independent engineer review plans submitted by the township engineer. Mr. Schiffmeyer, you want to handle that for us?
Well, yes, right now K2 Engineering handles the, as our township engineers, any subdivision plans or building plans. And I think just to set up a system that we feel is fair, if there are plans that through his private business, the end of it, where he's doing work for another entity, a private entity, and he does work for them, submits to the township, to show it's all above board, that we select another qualified engineer. Therefore, they would review and approve the plans submitted by K2. This is something that probably should have been done an awful long time ago, but now I think we can set this system up, and there would be eliminate any possibility of questioning the procedures and which way we handle our plans by the engineer.
We don't have to have a motion on that, do we? Just a motion on that?
Well,
I think when we go to hire one,
I think you need a motion when you hire somebody.
Yeah.
No, at this time, no.
We should get
No,
procedures together.
no, because we are just going to follow this procedure. You still have to hire somebody.
Right.
we talked about doing this
Before
before,
we-
and
I would wait until we move to actually hire the firm that's going to handle that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Next item on the agenda, comments from the public. Any comments from the public? Bernie, you want to come up here and state your name and address for us, for the record?
Address?
Your address, too. I forget your address. I know where you live.
1010 Cross Creek Drive.
What's that, 10?
1010 Cross Creek Drive.
Okay.
And I'm Bernie Quarick. Just two questions about items you touched on already. Mr. Vernon, you mentioned litter pickup, which is great to hear, Walnut Hill Road. I noticed a lot of litter along the bypass 119 from roughly Clementown Road.
That's a state road.
That's what I wondered. Yeah.
We did help with Walnut Hill Road. We helped on that. We had a couple of our neighbors complained about it. So we did Walnut Hill Road yesterday. And community service, one of the people from community service from the adult probation office came out and worked on that yesterday.
Okay.
That is, we tried to do our roads first, but that was so bad and we had a couple of complaints about it. So we handled that.
Okay.
It's off the side road off of us.
I did contact District 12 about the, because I get a lot of complaints about the on-ramp at Hopwood too, and we actually ran our sweeper truck around there just to do it, but
Okay.
I've called multiple times out to PennDOT and complained about the litter on the bypass and, along their state roads.
I called last year and never saw any kind of action the year ago. So.
Right.
The other question regarding Sheepskin Trail, I know there's hopefully plan to extend the trail up Brunenfield Road up to Port Gaddis. That's probably depends
well,
on funding.
that's we come up with a long-term program in constructing an addition to the Sheepskin Trail spur trails that would further allow our residents access using these spur trails to utilize the Sheepskin Trail. And this is a concept that's been very popular and being promoted by the state, the governor, and DCNR. Now, in all honesty, the Fort Gaddis Spur Trail is probably at the end of our long-range plan because it would be a very extensive program, anticipating a considerable amount of money that would be needed to construct that particular spur trail. What we would do as we move on to the first stage of the spur trails, we would look at doing first a trail that requires less in the way of commitment with funds and personnel. That would either be the Lick Hollow spur trail or the Hopwood Trail.
Fort Gaddis itself it's hard to see here in the summertime, but now in the winter you can see the structure in the woods there. And I'm concerned how much longer it's going to remain standing. Is there any active plan to
well, we've talked about this before. We've even created a board that I think we call it the Fort Gaddis Homestead Commission. And although it's not active right now, whenever we move on to the spur trail, or even before that, and I agree, it's a gift of history that exists here in Fayette County, and particularly in South Union Township, of which very few people know and understand. And the structure is deteriorating with each passing day. And it's not, we're quickly approaching a time when that structure will not be able to be revived or rehabilitated. And it would be a sin to lose that. It's the second oldest wooden structure in western Pennsylvania. And since we've been involved with it, it's amazing the amount of history that's associated with that site. And to lose that, it would be a shame, or something that we look back on years from now and ask why something wasn't done to save it. But it's still on our radar, and hopefully we're going to be able to act soon enough where we can save the Fort Gaddis homestead.
That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Next item on the agenda is our financial statement. Mr. Treasurer?
That's me, right? Okay, from the general fund checking, $265,002.60. General fund investment account, $119,300.30. State fund, $125,464.92. The hydrant fund, $18.87. Athletic fund, $4,215.94. Payroll fund, $783.37. Sheepskin Trail, $114,050.20. And from the North Union, South Union Intergovernmental Board, that'd be $22,610.56 for a grand total of $651,446.76. From the sewage fund, the total would be $2,196,731.61, and for a grand total, that would be $2,848,178.34.
Thank you, Mr. Schiffmeyer. We're going to act number 17, motion to pay all current bills. Mr. Secretary, Mr. Scott.
I'll make a motion to pay the following bills. North Union, South Union Intergovernmental Board Fund, $5,350. From the State Fund, $41,568.62. From the Sheepskin Trail Fund, $32,841.25. From the Athletic Fund, $3,874.04. From the Sewage Fund, $144,208.47. And from the General Fund checking account, $197,939.65. That's my motion to pay the following bills.
Okay, motion by Mr. Scott.
I'll second his motion.
Second by Mr. Schiffmeyer. Any questions on the motion? Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Schiffmeyer.
Yes.
And Mr. Vernon, yes. Okay, motion carries. We go on to the next item. We squeezed in there the engineer's report. Mr. Over from K2 is here. Do you have anything you can offer to the township?
I'm sure most of the residents of the township read in the paper last week that the former Kmart property had been sold to a local developer. I've talked to the local developer, and although he's working to secure some leases for the space, there is no movement relative to any leases at the space right now. But if you're driving by there, you can actively see that he's cleaned up the front of the area a lot since he's acquired the property, and I'm sure I expect good things from that developer to try to secure a business in that facility of 169,000 square foot shortly. I'd also like to mention and make sure that the public understands that South Union Township, as well as North Union and the City of Uniontown, are what's considered an MS4 community within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And what that means is that the township has to basically report to the Department of Environmental Protection relative to stormwater and storm sewer systems throughout the township. And that residents of the township can actively help and assist in reducing pollutants into the waters of the Commonwealth, into the public waters, by ensuring that they dispose of any oils or hazardous substances in the appropriate manner, that you just don't dump them down the drain, that if you buy pesticides at the stores, that you actually use them as per the instructions on the pesticides and fertilizers you buy, that one of the most important things, everybody has a pet, but that you're actually picking up after your pets, that you're not letting the waste on the property so that the stormwater washes it away and into the waters of the Commonwealth, and that you store any material that you may have on your property outside in a facility that's meant to be stored outside. So, the township is going to be reapplying for the second phase of the MS4 program in 2017. And part of it is education to the community. So this is part of that educational to the community to make sure you know what you can do on your own property to actively help the township in their goal.
I have a question for you. First of all, this amazing, important stuff that you're talking about, and I don't know if the township could spend their time with any more important issues than worrying about somebody's dog waste in their yard, but since we're concerned about the waterways in the state, Alcosan.
Yeah.
Does the city of Pittsburgh still completely treat all their sewage? Or does any of that sewage run into the streams?
I would have to, it would be a guess on my part because I'm not the engineer for Alcosan, but I suspect that they do have discharges into the water.
In other words, they still have the combined
They do have portions of their system that are combined storm sewer systems, yes.
Okay. Amazing.
Any other good news for us?
No, that's it.
That's it for today? Okay, we're going
Just trying to check off one of the boxes for education for the township.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Evers. Okay, next item on the agenda is number 18, our solicitor, Mr. Davis.
I have nothing to
Nothing
report.
else? We gave you nothing.
I'm not nearly as informative as Mr. Over.
Okay,
If anyone has any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer.
thank you. Okay, number 19 then would be adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 4:44 p.m.
I'll second the motion.
Second by Mr. Schiffmeyer. Roll call, Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Schiffmeyer.
Yes.
And Mr. Vernon. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much.